Without a doubt, you have found one of the top matches in the USL season as the two highest scoring teams in the Eastern Conference collide tonight in Tennessee. It's Nashville in top of the table New York, and it's coming up next from Music City. It is game night for Nashville Soccer Club, and welcome to First Tennessee Park, where top of the table is on the minds of everyone between these walls in Music City. First place New York is here, a suddenly slipping grip on the league's top notch. Meanwhile, rising and roaring Nashville knows a win tonight and a little help elsewhere would mean the boys in gold could make club history and fall asleep as league leaders in the East. So excited to have you with us for what should be a massive matchup tonight. John Freeman and Ronnie Woodard. Ronnie, we've been calling these games since Nashville started in the USL last year. Do you get the feeling that tonight, probably the biggest game that we've seen on this field?
Oh, absolutely. It's an enormous night for Nashville and for Red Bulls. It's the first time Nashville has a chance to be the top of the league. And at this point in the season, everyone is jockeying for position to get home field advantage for the playoffs. So you've got two energetic, technical, and very talented teams that are here tonight. And this game is going to be filled with lots of passion, emotion, and energy.
We sure can't wait for it. It is blazing hot tonight, and down on the field in the heat is our Kelly Glendenning.
Thanks, John. In terms of playing style, New York stands out among the masses. Before the match, I spoke with head coach Gary Smith and asked him what he thinks of their system. Here's what he said.
Well, I think I said to some of you, I think they're either the best developmental group and system in MLS at the minute, or they're very, very close. They're always producing good players, and they play throughout the club to a particular style and format. And it makes them very, very difficult. Those players are ready for the first team. They've got a great culture that when they get that opportunity at the top level, they're asked to go and play in their second team, and they do it to a very good level, which not all teams do. And it gives them an edge. They've got some sharpness, energy, and loads of quality about their team. They're always a goal threat, and that always makes them a problem to play against.
The competition between these two teams has always been fierce. In all competitions, they've drawn 1-1. John, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kelly. The second meeting this season between Nashville and New York now just minutes away. The managers have turned in their team sheets. We'll have them for you next. And then it's opening kickoff from First Tennessee Park. Nashville captain Michael Reed in attendance tonight. He was in the starting lineup when these two teams met at First Tennessee Park in a game that was rescheduled on June 26th, an encounter that was postponed after relentless summer storms. Let's go ahead and check the starting lineups. We'll begin with the side who's been thundering past opponents over the last month. Nashville Soccer Club unbeaten in 6 straight. They've done so in this 4-2-3-1 formation. Alan Wynn, he's been resurgent. Lebo Maloto, dynamic. Daniel Rios, prolific. But a vital cog in Nashville's renaissance has been the emergence of Ken Tribbett in the defensive midfield.
Well, Ken Tribbett entered the lineup when midfielder captain Michael Reed was injured, and he immediately put a stamp on the team. He is a force in the air, has a great range of passing, and loves a tackle. And keep your eye on him on set pieces. He's one of the best targets that Nashville has.
Let's go ahead and take a look at New York for the top of the table. Red Bulls, they're coming here to attack. It is all they know how to do. Their lineup confirms their ambitions. A 4-3-3 stocked with young and valuable talent. The front three, Elney, Mines, and Stroud. It's a mix of pace and power, and it's Stroud who can take over a match.
With 10 goals and 8 assists, number 50 Stroud is the most balanced and consistent player in New York's starting 11. He's calm and composed with the ball at his feet, yet he's extremely dangerous from distance and can strike on frame at any time.
For Jared Stroud as coach, John Wallenick says he needs to be a little cleaner around the box. Just 1 goal in his last 5. The official tonight will be easy for us to remember. In the middle tonight is, well, John Freeman. While our names are harmonious, the matches he's officiated have not been. Red cards in 3 straight to go with 6 penalties in his last 6 matches. Well, an opportunity to reach into rare air tonight for Nashville Soccer Club. A win over first place Red Bulls in top 2 position. By sunrise, a guarantee. With top of the table, a promising possibility. The flag of New York is planted on the peak of the Eastern Conference. And as the sun sets in Tennessee, it is in view of the boys in gold, but we know, they all know, it's closest to the summit where the climbing is the most treacherous. A meeting of clubs at the highest elevations of the United Soccer League is underway. Nashville head-to-toe in gold, and New York in their equally unmistakable red road kits. The top 2 scoring teams in the Eastern Conference are right here on this pitch in Germantown on a steamy, sticky night. Let's take a look now at the injury report brought to you by Vanderbilt Health. Michael Reed will be a permanent fixture on it for the rest of the 2019 campaign, while Derek Jones continues to recover from an Open Cup injury suffered several months ago. Nashville going to work with Alan Wynn in a foot race with Jordan Scarlett. Dangerous play right in the penalty area by Scarlett. Confidently clears as far as Washington. Rios combining with Carlton Belmar. Whistled well wide and out for a Red Bulls 2 throw. Belmar, 2 goals this year, scoring in Nashville's latest victory, a 3-1 road romp over Charlotte. First test for Jimmy Ockford. It was Jimmy Ockford who was not on this Nashville roster when these 2 teams first met here at First Tennessee Park. That was a game that was delayed, eventually started after lightning and thunder. Nashville led 2-1 at halftime. Cameron Lancaster and Lebo Maloto both connecting on goals. Matthias Jorgensen had the lone goal for New York Red Bulls 2. He is with their Major League Soccer team tonight, as is their leading scorer, Tom Barlow. Crafty touch from Stroud. Thumped to safety by Jimmy Ockford and chased down by Lebo Maloto. Punctual run from Taylor Washington to his left. Belmar to his right. It's Maloto. He's picked out Daniel Rios. Save made by Evan Lauro. Desperation goalkeeping in the 3rd minute. And Daniel Rios nearly breaks this game wide open early.
What great composure by Lebo Maloto to look up and find the feet of Daniel Rios. Daniel Rios gets in there and he just tries to chip it in over Loras. Look how he opens up his hips right there, but then it's deflected by Scarlett and then has to make a fantastic save by Lauro to keep it out of the back of the net.
It does result in the Coca-Cola corner kick. The towering center backs of Lasso and Ockford, the interested parties. Taylor Washington is the provider. Hooked into a good area and rising is Tribbett. Punching away is the goalkeeper Lauro. Reinserted Tribbett. Placed back into the sky by Kimura. Forwarded by Lasso. And watched out by Lauro. Jimmy Ockford shaken up on the play.
Looks like it's his wrist.
There's an infraction on the goal kick. New IFAB rules not in play here in the USL. So the goal kicks must exit the penalty area before being touched. Nevertheless, Ronnie, a searing start for Nashville. Dangerous and venomous early.
Absolutely. It's, as we promised, this game is already filled with a little bit of venom, isn't it? Both sides battling on 50-50s. Both are playing a little bit more direct at the beginning stages of the game, testing the back lines, putting players under pressure.
Alan Wynn galloping forward. Rios awaiting the service. And it's the 17-year-old teenager, Ben Mines, the 18-year-old, who knocks it out for the Coca-Cola corner kick. A lot of young faces on this Red Bulls 2 roster. Mines has MLS experience already. Senior statesman Evan Lauro at 23 years old. Coca-Cola corner kick. Taylor Washington again. Hunted down by Melodo. Nashville re-triggers at the feet of Kimura. Kyle Duncan soaring for the header. One back by Lasso. Contribute the interested party. And out by Scarlett for a throw. Hey fans, keep up to date with us all season long. Follow our journey to Major League Soccer at NashvilleSC.com. Falls out front for Belmar. Lifted in towards Melodo. The flag stays down. Melodo's cross. Greeted by Duncan. Prospecting is Washington. Lofted service. Down the line for a Nashville throw. Boys in gold have the visitors hemmed back in the 7th minute. Rios able to turn past Scarlett. Oh, what can he do here? It's Daniel Rios.
Nashville has certainly started this game on the front foot. This is as energetic and full of life that we've seen them in early parts of the game. They're just pressing the back line. Look at Daniel Rios. Tight little touch. He trips over the ball, but then he manages to regain his composure and still earns the opportunity by being in a dangerous position, a corner kick.
Different corner kick routine here for Nashville. Big center backs now standing at the edge of the penalty area. Ready to rush on this Coca-Cola corner kick. Here it comes back post. Lauro off his line. Everybody looking at John Freeman, the center official, and it's out for a goal kick.
The only John Freeman I see is in the booth. The one and only, the
Different
John Freeman.
spellings.
The
Yes.
John Freeman, the
O's instead of
Nashville,
A's.
the Nashville Soccer Club John Freeman. The voice everyone loves is right here before us.
There's not a Ronnie Woodard as the assistant referee tonight, just to clarify. One back again. Win. Towards Melodo. Let it run through. Intended for Rios. Now Stroud, chance to stretch his legs. Nashville with almost exclusive use of the ball here in the 9th minute. Belmar has had an active start, as has Taylor Washington. Isolated with Duncan. Cross comes in low, embargoed by Nealis. Washington, the New York native, turned 26 years old last week. Bombarding forward is Kosuke Kimura. He sent Allen Wynn down the far side in a foot race with the fleet-footed John Tolkien, the teenager. And yet again, New York forced to repel a Nashville corner kick. It is a buzzing start for the boys in goal.
Very impressive so far. I mean, most definitely Nashville has come out to play, and you could see the energy and feel the energy in the warm-up. You could see them getting engaged with the crowd before it started and just really, really being very focused on the task at hand tonight.
Now these two players, Taylor Washington and Lebo Maloto, they combined for a well-worked corner kick routine that led to a Daniel Rios goal in the opening 10 minutes against Charlotte on Saturday. Sent in by Maloto. The header on frame! And Nashville strikes first with Ken Tribbett. A gold rush right out of the gates.
So as we said at the very beginning, keep your eye on Ken Tribbett on set pieces. Look at that. What a fantastic ball right into the front run of Tribbett. Bent into his run, attacked it, put it back into the frame of the goal. Very difficult to save for Loro, but the amount of pace that's put on that ball from Lebo Maloto in, and then the amount of pace from Ken Tribbett to put in the back of the net was fantastic. It
is the Dex imaging goal for Ken Tribbett, his 4th of the year. When they need a goal from a set piece, he comes flying in. The man just loves to score.
Especially with his head on set pieces. I mean, he absolutely has never seen a tackle or a 50-50 ball that's been served that he doesn't attack and doesn't want a part of it.
In Nashville, thirsty for more. It's Carlton Belmar setting sail on a counterattack. It's found its way to Allen Wynn. Taylor Washington towards Maloto and safely into the arms of Evan Loro. The boys in gold right back to work. Rios combining with Wynn. He's isolated Scarlett, the center back. We had the matchup he wanted. Much more burly Scarlett versus the speedy Allen Wynn. Could not drive towards the inline. Ball over top towards Sebastian Elney, marshaled easily by Forrest Lasso. And, well, man, we've barely had time to talk about it. It's Connor Sparrow who gets the start over Matt Pickens tonight. The reason being is Sparrow was the goalkeeper when these two teams first met in this stadium, the game that was postponed. And, well, Gary Smith, being the loyal coach that he is, giving him the start that he had for a half and then eventually had taken away from him. There is Gary Smith. He told us these matches, well, they are the easy ones. It's easy to get his team ready when the top of the table is a possibility, and it is tonight if Nashville were able to defeat New York Red Bulls too. is a set piece for Nashville SC. The steering committee of Lebo Melodo and Taylor Washington standing over. It comes in again. Rising was Tribbett, who is controlling the airspace in New York's penalty area. And now a rare chance for an outbreak from the visitors. John Christoph Kofi into the attacking third. It's Kofi lining up a drive and skies it over the supporter section. New York guided by John Wolenek, the only coach the club has ever had. The manager spent the majority of his playing career with New York in MLS, went to college in the Bronx at Fordham, and now once again has the Baby Bulls at the top of the USL Eastern Conference table.
Tonight we would like to recognize two groups sitting in section 615.
This game included Nashville outscoring opponents 14-1 in its last 7 matches.
Here in Music City. Our second group is volunteers from AmeriCorps. These volunteers spend a year in Nashville serving the city in various ways. Please join me in
down is Tolkien. Look how high up the field Kosuke Kimura is battling.
Kosuke Kimura, after having the rest in the last match, I think, you know, we already know he already has a great fitness base. But then when he had that additional day to recover, he's just flying up and down that right flank.
Elney in a spot of extreme isolation.
Did you see that interaction between Elney and Sparrow? Elney tried to sneak up behind him as he was about to go punt the ball. Sparrow gave him a little smile.
Here comes New York. A rare venture forward. Tracked easily by Washington. Safety first from Sparrow. If fans see the latest team content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at our handle, Nashville SC. Drums and lungs ready from the supporters from the opening whistle. Oh, how neatly worked this is. It's Carlton Belmar. Was he impeded by Scarlett? The answer is no, according to John Freeman. Meanwhile, New York in a slow mosey up the field. Kofi with space. Closed down by Akinyoti. Now Mines. Rios attempting to spin past Nealis. Drawing the whistle at the referee. And also a needed discussion with the referee. Go ahead and take a look. A few minutes, about a minute back, it's the Carlton Belmar chance. I'm going to let you interpret. Did Scarlett foul Carlton Belmar on the edge of the 18?
I believe so. I believe Carlton had the ball going at goal and was impeded in his play towards the goal. I do believe it was outside of the box, but I do believe that that was probably a missed opportunity for Nashville.
Here's Chris Lemma. His connection with Elney. It's Melodo tracking back to defense. I'm thinking that may have touched the hand of Kyle Duncan. Nevertheless, it will be Nashville possession. Gary Smith and his team telling the media about their game plan coming into this. They said they wanted to take advantage of counterattacking possibilities. They know New York likes to get caught way up the field. They think that if they can get the ball and go fast, there'll be plenty of opportunities in this one. They also want to be able to handle the high pressure of New York. And so far, New York hasn't been able to press high because the ball's been entirely in their defensive end.
Yeah, so far, Nashville's dictated the flow of this game. And Red Bulls just haven't seemed to be able to find their rhythm yet. They're working hard defensively. They're battling, but they haven't strung anything together.
Meloto and Rios combining. Entrepreneurial run from Kimura. It's a good-looking cross towards Rios. Daniel Rios, one goal away from tying Solomon Asante once again in the USL Golden Boot standings. Rios leads the Eastern Conference, but Asante with one more goal for his Phoenix Rising club. Our Kelly Glendenning is down on the field. Kelly, you've got some information on Daniel Rios.
Yes, John, as you said, he is searching for his 18th goal tonight, but even bigger than that, he's about to reach a career milestone. He's hunting down his 50th goal tonight as well. And speaking with Gary Smith before the game, I asked him what makes Daniel Rios so effective, and he said it's his versatility and his ability to work on a team. He defends even when he's not expected to, and Smith just had so much great things to say about how he is in different positions on the field, and that makes him such a threat. John?
Amazing career that Daniel Rios is building in this league. And one that he will move past into Major League Soccer next year with Nashville Soccer Club. In fact, Rios, 54 career USL matches. His longest goal drought is just 3 games, Ronnie.
Well, he's an incredibly effective goal scorer. He's so calm and composed when he faces up within distance of striking the ball or balls that are served into the box. And mainly, one of the best qualities that Daniel Rios has is the timing of his runs into the box. He has a great ability to find pockets that he can receive the ball, and the timing of those runs are essential.
Attempted cross from Duncan, well over. Duncan, a player who's played in 6 games. Grew up in the New York Red Bulls 2 Academy. Made his way to the French 2nd Division. And now being told by the supporters he let the whole team down. Hey fans, get Nashville SC updates and alerts all year long by clicking follow on ESPN.com. New York starting to find its feet. Here's Bezecourt. Stepping was Tribbett. Nashville draws its lines. Emphatically away by Ockford. Back to the goalkeeper, Evan Lauro. Goalkeeper who has clean sheets in 2 of his last 4. Led by John Wallenick. And New York historically so much better at home. We'll tell you about it in a second, but first, pinballing around the edge of the penalty area. Down goes Alan Wint. So back to the point about New York. This season at home, they have won more matches, 10 games, than they have on the road in the last 3 years combined. What is it when you go on the road that makes it so hard to accumulate points, especially for this young club?
Well, I mean, I think it's probably a combination of a change in lineups when they're on the road versus being at home. I think the tactics are a little bit different when you're on the road. We've talked to Coach Smith enough this year and, you know, read various articles on other teams. You know, you get out there and you're a little bit more conservative early. A lot of times you don't start on the front foot. You let the game find you. You kind of get your bearings and then you play. It's just really difficult to not be in your home field or in your environment with your fans. And, you know, a lot of times they are the integral part of pushing you over the top and giving you that little bit of extra push. And obviously it works for the Red Bulls too.
New York finding space with Tolkien. The teenagers crosses low and driven right at Kosuke Kimura. Such an intriguing matchup tonight. 47 in red is Tolkien, and 27 in gold is Kosuke Kimura, who is more than twice the age of Tolkien.
Do you think Tolkien will go to prom this year?
He might be a little bit occupied.
I think he's a little busy.
He is one of the top prospects for New York Red Bulls, too. And the Red Bulls organization, a club that is stocked full of talent.
Well, and look who he has to deal with today, Alan Wynn. You know, you've got Tolkien versus Wynn. Wynn is dynamic, he's fast, he's tricky, he's explosive, he covers a lot of ground. And you've got this young talent in Tolkien who probably is getting shaped for the next stage of the Red Bulls. And here he is up against a really good, formidable opponent. And he's going to be stretched tonight. So it's going to be great to see how this youngster does.
Temperatures hitting the mid-90s today. Extremely humid as well. There's no heat on this earth hot enough to slow those supporters down. They know what is potentially up for grabs tonight. New York is top of the table, so not only a chance for a home victory against a team at the top of the table, but also a possibility that what they win, Nashville could go top of the table themselves for the first time in club history. They decamp from the defensive end at the feet of Melodo. The pacey and thoughtful Carlton Belmar. So back to all the stipulations that would have to happen for Nashville to achieve top of the table by the end of tonight. They would need to win this game, and they would also need Tampa Bay to either draw or lose to North Carolina. And right now, for Tampa Bay to get a win, they would need a minimum of 2 goals in less than 30 minutes on the road at North Carolina. So the script for the evening so far being read word for word if it was written by Gary Smith. But anytime you play New York Red Bulls 2, 1 goal is rarely enough to win any match.
Well, you've seen the ability of Elney that's playing up top. His pace alone is keeping Forrest Lasso and Jimmy Ockford honest.
Stroud ladled into the path of Elney. Sure-footed defending again by Ockford. Foul called on Belmar. Brought down Lima. A peculiar position in shooting range of these baby Bulls. There's plenty of players that can take this, including Vincent Bezecourt. Jean-Christophe Kofi also very good at set pieces. And the discussion has ended over who will take this. It is Bezecourt.
Look at the size of that wall. Ken Tribbett, Forrest Lasso, Bolu Akinyoti, all well over 6 feet tall.
Here it comes. Certainly intrigued Sparrow. Confidently watched it over the crossbar. Sparrow's last start, July 7th versus Lou City. That was the last time Nashville Soccer Club lost a soccer game. Six straight matches without a loss for Nashville SC. 5 out of the 6 games clean sheets. Fully committed from Daniel Rios. There are a few forwards of his caliber that will chase a ball where the probabilities are low for them to track it down.
They didn't take that very kindly. New York Red Bulls didn't appreciate Daniel Rios chasing the ball.
They took the goal kick quickly. This is a organization that prides itself on foot on the gas soccer, never letting their opponent rest.
And that was the issue because Rios threw the second ball onto the field. Thankfully, it didn't impede any of the play. The ball was well past that area.
Fans, Major League Soccer is almost here. Season tickets are now available. Ticket packages start at just $25 a match, and payment plans are available to purchase your 2020 MLS season tickets. Visit NashvilleSC.com. New York, one of the most technical teams in the league. Excellent footwork and on display with Vincent Bezecourt. Now the pendulum swinging a little bit towards the Red Bulls.
Again, they're getting their footing. It takes just a few minutes of getting a rhythm.
It's Ben Mines to the inline. Necessary defending from Washington. Kofi with room to turn. Now Duncan. Tight quarters on the far sideline. No prod away now. Down the left side. Tolkien. Still can't clear Jimmy Ockford. Nashville dug in. Duncan looking for a crease in the defense. It's Duncan, that's deflected. Is it off a hand? New York players looking back towards the referee. Nevertheless, first save of the game for Connor Sparrow.
He's not been overly challenged yet. He's been solid, he's organized well. Good and confident in the back. Nashville slowing the game down a bit.
Boots were high of John Christoph Kofi. Bolu Akinyoti took exception. Happened right in the vision of John Freeman, the referee. Kofi has been red carded this year. He was originally suspended for this match. And because of its postponement, he became eligible, had to sit out the suspension against a different opponent. Now he is very much on the mind of the referee.
Well, he couldn't have gotten any closer to John Freeman with that foul. I mean, he was maybe 2 feet away from him. I mean, it would have been very difficult for referee Freeman to miss that opportunity.
Take a look at the infraction. Can't come in with your studs up. Now, based on the replay, it looked like he got them down before making contact with the ball or the player. Does set up a free kick for Nashville. Trying to thread the needle was Melota.
I do like the fact that Nashville added in something that wasn't just a ball served into the box on that set piece. A little bit more creativity, a little more imagination in their set pieces is always good to add into their game at this point in the season. That's not something we've seen so far.
'34th minute, First Tennessee Park. The lone goal coming off of a corner kick headed in by Ken Tribbett of Nashville. Nealis. Duncan. Lima. Scarlets. We slip behind Nashville's midfield. Tolkien. Kofi. Lima.
It's nice at the very beginning of that sequence. It was a lovely little entry ball from Scarlett. All the way up high, creating opportunity, skipping the midfield, finding a dangerous opportunity for Red Bulls to attack.
Now based on the most recent phase of the game, Nashville with very little possession as of last 10 or so minutes and bombarding up the field.
That was
Jared Stroud.
that cheeky little move of Stroud.
Stroud to Bezecourt. It's a first-time cross towards Elney. Examining Washington. Return and face against Belmar. Has found Duncan. And repelled by Bolu Akinyoti.
That whole sequence started with a great little touch by Stroud where he knocked it around the defender to play in. Lovely little technical ability, a little craftiness and creative.
And the fangs starting to show with this New York Red Bulls 2 team. Stroud. Lima. Stroud again, taken away by Wynn. And Wynn is hauled down, slowing up the counterattack. And fans, follow Nashville SC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home of the USL, MLS, and more. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Now, you do not want to be in the mental notebook of John Freeman, the referee. Red card in 3 straight matches. He did officiate the first meeting between these teams. That was up in New York in March. A 1-1 draw, gave out 5 yellow cards in that match, but no penalties or reds, which has been his specialty as of recent. Lima. Kofi. Expert defending from Carlton Belmar. Following the run of Kyle Duncan. Extinguishing any opportunity New York was building down that right side, but Duncan's starting to find a sliver of space down the far flank.
Well, now Red Bulls has Nashville pinched in, so now Wynn and Belmar are having to do more of the defensive work because Stroud and Mines are getting forward so much.
Oh, what a touch that is. Chance here. It's Stroud, closed down by Tribbett. Stays with Stroud. Laying it off, Lima. Well wide of the target. As Jared Stroud beginning to make his impression on the match.
So if you watch now, you're seeing a little bit more of the press from New York Red Bulls too. Bezecourt is coming and he's pressing Connor Sparrow. So he's running from the midfield into putting pressure onto Connor Sparrow, causing him to give up a 50-50 ball, and then the Red Bulls are then winning that ball in transition, and they're already high enough up the field that they're turning it into an offensive look on frame just by simply pressing Lasso, Ockford, and Sparrow with the pace of Elney and Bezecourt flying out of that midfield to come high.
Nashville can't do this for another hour and withstand attack after attack.
No, Elney's way too fast. He's going to find a channel in between the backs of Nashville, in between Lasso and Ockford. Elney's way too creative, and Stroud is going to be able to break them down, combining in. And Bezecourt has been really active off the ball. If you look at him, he's getting the ball central, he's getting the ball wide, he's working really hard to get into dangerous spots to be able to create and combine with Elney. There's no way that Nashville will be able to withhold this for the rest of the game. They're going to have to step up their pace a little bit.
Now, if you're Nashville, 39th minute, are you just thinking, let's get to the dressing room with that 1-goal lead and readjust if we have to?
Yeah, just catch your breath. The clock's your friend. Make sure you get in to the locker room with a 1-0 lead. You know, if you can get the second, great. But you're going to have to deal with the press right now, and that means connecting passes and getting your head up and being able to keep the ball. And they're going to have to do a little bit of defensive work, a little bit more than maybe what they've had to do in the very first 15 minutes of the game.
Kosuke Kimura did not play for Nashville over the weekend versus Charlotte. Gary Smith trusting one of his long-standing war horses. Kimura at 35 years old.
Unfortunately has a laces issue right now with his boots. And there's nothing worse than trying to tie your shoes under pressure and relace them, right? Everybody's watching, TV's on you, you're sweaty, they've come completely unlaced, you're trying to get them through very quickly, and the clock is ticking away.
It's just like your kids when you're ready to go to school, right?
It is. Look at it. I bet if you ask Kosuke, it'll be his most stressful part of the game, was lacing his boots up under pressure on TV.
Now, he's apparently very good with his hands in terms of the cooking in the kitchen. A lot of the teammates actually go over to Kimura's house. He's known as the healthiest eater on the team and also the best chef. Melodo, the feint to clear space past Kofi. Allen Wynn. Can he trial the teenager Tolkien? It's an overlapping run from Kimura. The cross comes in towards Loro. It was on target. Loro casually claims, and New York ignites a counter the other direction. It's Elney broadcasting his pace. Up to claim is Sparrow. Ronnie, if Nashville were to win this game, they would be top of the table. We can go ahead and say it because in the 83rd minute, North Carolina leading Tampa Bay 4-1. So unless the Rowdies perform a miraculous comeback and get the win in North Carolina's capital, Nashville could be playing for top of the table. If we had a live table up, Nashville would be at the top of it right now.
When this is doing a world of good for North Carolina, who's quietly creeping into this playoff run, right? Every game that they win is putting them in a better situation, because they're currently sitting at 5.
Yellow card is out. Christopher Lima. Take a look at the foul that finally broke the patience of John Freeman, the center official.
By the referee.
Win. Auditioning Tolkien. Takes him to the end line. The cross comes in, and Loro full stretch.
Nice save by Loro, because right behind him was the near post run of Daniel Rios, and Loro did a great job of recognizing that ball that was being played in by Wynn, getting low, keeping a hand on it, and not leaving a rebound, which is essential in that type of situation.
Kofi has recruited Tolkien into the movement. Thundering header from Lasso. Hey, soccer fans, get your official Nashville SC gear, including MLS styles, online at NashvilleSC.com. Duncan into the penalty area. It's a great looking cross right on top, the tap in. Jared Stroud equalizes in Tennessee. And the Red Bulls in the live table vault themselves back up into first position. Barely a celebration from Stroud. His 11th goal of the year, and potentially one of the easiest ones.
Duncan drives the ball in. Elney steps right over it. We're caught, Nashville's caught ball watching on that back post. Kosuke Kimura's not on the correct inside shoulder of Stroud, and it's just a textbook easy finish for Stroud. But a lovely ball by the right back Duncan getting forward, driving that ball across. Elney made a great near post run, stepped over the ball, drew two of the Nashville defenders towards that ball, and then that left a wide open Stroud on the back post.
Just minutes ago, we were talking about Nashville just needing to get into the dressing room.
That is exactly what Nashville didn't want, was to lose the momentum right before halftime.
For Stroud, who had scored just one goal in his last 5 games, turns in his 11th of the season. His coach called him out, said he needed to be cleaner in the penalty area. Was sure-footed with what is New York's first goal of the evening.
Pretty sure coach is going to be pleased with that result. Textbook finish inside 8 yards.
Nashville bypasses the midfield at the feet of Daniel Rios. Defending from Scarlett results in a throw. Quiet night so far for 14 in goal.
He's been effective, but he's up against 2 athletically gifted center backs. You've got Scarlett, who's wide-bodied and big and strong, and then you've got Nealis, who's athletic. And so Daniel Rios is having a difficult time, playing off of them, bending in behind them, playing off of their bodies. They're just physically mismatched.
Just 1 minute of added time. When these teams met at First Tennessee Park back in June, it was 2-1 at half. Before that game was eventually postponed and abandoned. Now right on the brink of a 1-1 draw heading into the dressing rooms. That'll do it for the first half. Nashville and New York, a goal apiece at First Tennessee Park. Ken Tribbett opened the scoring for Nashville SC. And then a late first half goal scored by Jared Stroud. The teams vaulting each other twice in this first half in the standings. And this battle now for the top space in the USL Eastern Conference is a deadlock. 1-1 at First Tennessee Park. Our halftime presented to you by Nissan is coming up. Daniel Rios, he's had a quiet night so far. Can he find the goal to send his team ahead and put himself back in first place in the Golden Boot race? It's been contentious, it's been energetic, and it has been a fun one to watch. 1-1 our score as the teams head into the dressing rooms. A full halftime presented by Nissan coming up on ESPN Plus and MyTV 30.
Welcome to halftime presented by Nissan. Nashville SC's watch party on Saturday was one to remember. Fans got to watch the road match alongside injured captain Michael Reed and offered him some words of encouragement as he began his road to recovery. Here's more.
Honestly, you guys have touched my life in a way I don't think I've ever been touched before, and it's been something else. So, thank you so much. Not done. We still got some of the season left. I'll be around. I'll be around.
The score right now at halftime, Nashville SC 1, New York Red Bulls 2-1. Stay tuned for stats and standing up next.
Nashville's captain, Michael Reed, watching his team battle with New York Red Bulls 2. 1-1 our score at First Tennessee Park. It is our halftime presented to you by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. What a wild first half it was as Nashville opened the scoring with Contribute, and then it was followed right at the end of the first half. The goal from Jared Stroud brings us level at intermission. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. These are live standings. So Nashville came into tonight wondering if they won this game, would they go top of the table? Well, Tampa Bay lost to North Carolina. So therefore the possibility, it's a possibility tonight. Nashville a chance to go top of the table. They have to win this game though. Right now, New York top of the table and holding on. If they get a draw, they'll stay there tonight. And then also, don't forget, Indy 11 still has a bunch of games in hand on all the teams above them. So top of the table, it would be an honor tonight, but there's still a whole lot of the season left too.
Well, North Carolina went from 5-2 with that win over Tampa today. Going into the game tonight, they were sitting 5 in the standings. And with that one, that just shows you how close it is as you're looking at the points when you're coming through. It's a rampant race to the finish for the top 4 seeds that are going to have that home field advantage.
There are 4 clubs that Nashville has played and never defeated. Let me show you a list of them. In fact, it's Nashville's schedule. Charleston, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis have all played Nashville, and Nashville has never defeated them in club history. That thorn in the side battery coming on Saturday for what will be Nashville's 3rd match in a 8-day span. And then against the team that was at the top of the table, or excuse me, 2nd in the table coming into tonight, the Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road in the Florida Heat.
It's going to be rough. I mean, but that's what they want. They want a good schedule. That's why they play in the league. They put themselves in a really good position. This time last year, they were biting and scratching to get above the line. So think about the improvement that Nashville's made. Now they're biting and scratching to fight for the 1st seed. It's a way different environment. It's a talented Nashville team. It's a seasoned Nashville team. And, you know, they've had some injuries, which has caused some depth problems in certain positions on the field. But they're really having players like Ken Tribbett that are stepping up into a large role in a different position that we originally was playing for Nashville and making huge mark on the game.
Probably the biggest second half of the regular season match that we can remember, and it's coming up from First Tennessee Park. 1-1 our score, our first half highlights, and the start of the second half when we return.
Hello there, I'm Skywatch 17 meteorologist Justin Chambers. Hello there, I'm Skywatch 17 meteorologist Justin Chambers. Soccer fans, hopefully you're enjoying the game so far. As you head out of the stadium tonight, make sure to be safe. Temperatures into the lower 70s, increasing clouds as well. It's going to be a muggy and warm evening again, but we do have rain on the way, especially as we start heading into Thursday afternoon. You'll see a few more of those clouds around there and some showers develop late Thursday night into Friday. So we are going to see more of those rain showers. Could see some rain hanging around for Saturday's game as well.
Well, we are a long way away from low 70s tonight. You can ask the players. They are burning up on the field. One of the hottest nights of the year. And so far through 45 minutes of action, 1-1 our score at First Tennessee Park. It's our halftime presented by Nissan. Welcome up to our broadcast booth. So glad to have you with us. Ronnie, it was an incredible first half. Nashville gets the goal early from Ken Tribbett. And then Stroud answers for New York Red Bulls too. Let's go ahead and dive right into our first half highlights. This will probably take a while because there was plenty of them, and Nashville got things started out early. They look hungry and dangerous right out of the gates.
Well, the first ball that was played in from Levo Melodo to just get his head up and find the feet of Daniel Rios, and Daniel Rios opens up his hips and tries to chip the ball in. Stroud has a sliding save and it deflects out, and then Lauro has to make a great save. Here comes Carlton Belmar. He's attacking. It's a foul that wasn't called within the game, but it definitely looks like it could have been questionable and potentially a Nashville goal. Now, there's the goal. What a ball from Levo Melodo. Drives that ball in to Ken Tribbett. Ken Tribbett takes 2 steps, attacks the ball, kisses babies after he scores the goal, and then puts Nashville on the board 1-0. And then there's the dagger in the 43rd minute. Duncan drives the ball across. Elney steps over the ball, and there's a wide-open Stroud sitting on the back post who gets his head up and finishes it with a lot of ease.
It was a really interesting game interesting first half because the tide seemed to turn right around the 20-minute mark. So Nashville got its goal, and then it was a blitz from New York Red Bulls, an excellent response from the visitors.
It absolutely was, and you could see it kind of building. Red Bull sat in, they withheld a little bit of pressure. I don't think that they were pleased with giving up the early goal, but then they responded. They found the game. You saw them connecting passes. You saw Bezecourt getting forward. You saw Stroud getting the ball more at his feet. You saw Elney pressing that back line, trying to get in behind Nashville, and just keeping the ball higher up in the field, which caused more problems for Nashville.
John Wolenek, the 42-year-old, the only coach that New York Red Bulls 2 has ever had. Same can be said for Gary Smith when talking about Nashville Soccer Club. This would be, if they could pull it off and get a goal here in the second half and gain 3 points, it would be a signature win for this club, for that manager. Nashville has never been this close to top of the table. 45 minutes to win, to lead the Eastern Conference in points deep into this season. Will there be a vital decision from John Freeman in this game? A referee well above the league averages in red cards and penalties. The team at the top of the table to the left of your screen. The team desperate to get there to the right. Back underway at First Tennessee Park. Third place Nashville, first place New York. And just as you would write the script, Nashville attacking towards its supporters in the second half. Daniel Rios is still the striker for Nashville SC. They do have Cameron Lancaster available on the bench tonight. And New York has made a substitution. It's Kyle Zayats who's come in for Vincent Bezecourt. Zayats over a month off with a broken nose. Bezecourt's night is over. Zayats 4 goals this year. Was in the starting lineup for the postponed game, then broke his nose, then sat out a string of games, and now finally back in as a substitute. New York attacking with Mines. Winning it back was Belmar. It's an inventive touch from Rios. Slowed up by Nealis. Melodo trying to slip in. Allen Wynn, emergency tackle by the center back Jordan Scarlett. Rios complaining to John Freeman that he was being pulled by Nealis.
Well, I think if you watch the replay, you would see exactly that. You know, it's been a physical battle. And Nealis is using every bit of his physicality and his physical strength to be able to play. Well, here's the playback of Lebo Moloto playing. Knocked off the ball just a bit. I'm not sure that I would have blown my whistle if I were John Freeman either on that.
It's going to be a wide open second half. Exploring the far flank is Stroud. Kofi. Zayats. Stroud again. He's isolated Ockford. Working out of tight quarters, closed down by Ockford. And Nashville a chance to begin the outbreak at the feet of Daniel Rios, but taken back by Nealis. Sturdy defending once more by Ockford. He's not had a misstep tonight. Tolkien, cross again. Road blocked by Ockford. Stroud. Ockford again. At some point, they will have to experiment a back post service, right, Ronnie?
Well, I would think so, but then what are you met with? Forced lasso. So I think that the idea is try to get it in front of Ockford, because putting it in the air is really not an option when you have Forrest Lasso on that back post or in the center of the goal. You're going to have to bypass him and get all the way to the flanks and your back defenders, because neither Kasuke Kimura nor Taylor Washington are as large as Ockford and Lasso. So you've got to get it all the way to the far post. Exactly to your point, it can't just stop in the center of the goal. It's got to get to that back post to bypass those two trees in the middle of the park.
Set piece about 30 yards out for New York Red Bulls too. Now Gary Smith told the media before this game that he wanted his team to counterattack. They're sitting back quite deep right now, allowing New York to move forward, absorbing the pressure, trying to break out of it, but they've conceded a free kick in a peculiar position. The steering committee of 3 players standing over it. New York Red Bulls 2 team that is on pace to score over 80 goals this season. It has never been done in the USL. It's driven by Lima, saved by Sparrow. Crucial stop from Sparrow to keep this game tied at 1.
It's a well-struck ball by Lemma. He bent it around the outside of the wall. And Ken Tribbett's shape was a little bit interesting to me because it wasn't straight on the wall. To me, he was a little angled in, which left a little bit larger area for Lemma to be able to bend it around that wall. And it's exactly what he saw, and that's what he did. And Kano Sparrow had to come up large with a save.
Our Kelly Glendenning is down on the field. Kelly, what do you have for us?
John, I spoke with head coach Gary Smith as they were heading out of the locker room, and he said this half really comes down to 2 things. He said New York's fullbacks have been pushing up. I'll let you take this from here, or John, go ahead.
New York into the attacking third. Get right back to you in a second, Kelly. Now Alan Wynn. Chance to move out of pressure for Nashville. It's Lebo Moloto. He's hit Wynn in full stride. Moloto stays to the right. He's got Rios to his left. Coming into cover was Kofi.
That was a large tackle by Kofi. Very composed, great tackle, great timing on it. Broke up any opportunity for Alan Wynn to recreate again.
Stroud. Incisive run towards Ben Mines. And he flubbed the shot. It was put on a platter. Go back to our Kelly Glendenning. Kelly, continue, please.
happening in this game, just filled with action. John, what I was saying is that Gary really wants to hone in on those outside backs for New York, making sure they're not making those runs forward. Secondly, he said that Nashville has been breaking through. They just need to capitalize on those opportunities. They have to be more efficient. Last half, they were not near enough. Back to you.
So far, this second half is all red right now.
Without a doubt. Well, and the end of the first half ended that way, too. And it was because, and we talked about it, Tolkien and Duncan and their activity going forward was very good, which caused Nashville players to have to defend deeper, particularly Alan Wynn and Belmar. So that left Daniel Rios up top alone with a little bit of Lebo Maloto still dropping in to defend, which gave Nashville no chance to attack.
Standing over the set piece is Stroud and Lima. Orchestrating the barrier is Sparrow. It's Stroud trying to find a shaft of light on that near post, sending it over the frame of the goal, sending the Select ball over. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Very little business in this second half in the attacking third for Nashville. No substitutes warming up just yet for Gary Smith's squad. They continue to repel advance after advance from New York, but how long can these levies hold? Duncan has made the overlapping run to the right. It's a sliding stop from Forrest Lasso, denying Ben Mines, and resulting in the Coca-Cola corner kick.
Ben Mines gets his head down. Nice struck ball going to the far post, and it's a great defensive play by Forrest Lasso. Causes Connor Sparrow to pause for a second because that deflection very well could have taken an odd bounce and gone into the back of the net, but probably a better option than it was for that well-driven far post ball.
Coca-Cola corner kick swept in, greeted by Washington. Delicate footwork from Wynn. And Maloto dancing past an opponent and has sprung Carlton Belmar. The pasture in front of him. Closed down by Nealis. Switches the point of attack. Isolated is Wynn against the teenager Tolkien. Finds space with Washington. Calculates his cross, whips it in, and denied by Duncan. Now Nashville's teeth out for the first time in the second half. Nashville's only goal tonight came off of a corner kick, headed in by Ken Tribbett to open the scoring. Pumped in by Maloto. Rising is Lasso. Spun wide of the post. A chance to breathe and a chance to send it down onto the field to our Kelly Glendinning.
Thanks, John. I just got the words on some stats from the first half. Distance covered the most tonight for Nashville SC was by Ken Tribbett there in the midfield. Sprints, the most number of those went to Alan Wynn, and Alan Wynn was also the fastest player on the field for Nashville, clocking in at 20.8 miles per hour.
You wonder how much is left in the tank of Wynn. Not a player that typically goes a full 90 at the pace that he plays. And nearly Daniel Rios in on goal.
I think in a game like tonight, Coach Smith is going to stretch him as far as he can to get as many minutes as he can out of Wynn.
Oh, a neat touch. Kosuke Kimura sending it in towards Belmar. Tribbett got that down. It's got enough torque on it heading towards the corner flag. And out for a throw.
I love that effort by Ken Tribbett. Getting over, leans over the ball, strikes it down, almost earns a corner kick out of it, but gets himself a throw-in, still in a dangerous area. But great technical ability by Ken Tribbett and guts to do that in that part of the field.
Sean, back up, Sean. Back up, Sean.
Nashville expands into its back line in Oxford. Rios grappling with Scarlett. Recruiting Washington forward. Too soft of a touch, and now Kyle Duncan in a track meet with Washington. Does well to turn the 22-year-old backwards. Kofi overlapping is Tolkien. Watched by Kimura. Tolkien's cross softly into the basket of Connor Sparrow. Hey fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy.
So you know how hot we've been talking about it is on the field. Imagine playing with Zigets and that face mask on in the 90, 80 degree plus weather, running in this type of humidity and trying to play. I mean, he is a warrior to be out there. Athletes play through a lot of situations, but imagine playing through with that type of apparatus on your face in this type of heat. It impedes your breathing, his sweating, everything. And he is just a champ out there right now.
Zayats had not played in over a month. It's a hefty touch, followed by a hefty challenge from Forrest Lasso. And Nashville's first booking of the game.
So to be out over a month, that's quite the broken nose. You know, because a lot of athletes return to action very quickly with that type of apparatus on their face, and it protects them. But he must have really had a good altercation that caused that type of damage.
Near the hour mark, if the score holds, New York will be top of the table at sunrise. If Nashville SC can find a winner, it will be top of the table. For the first time in club history, they will bring in one of their engines in Matt LaGrassa momentarily. Nashville SC's next home game, Saturday, August 24th. That's this Saturday at First Tennessee Park against the Charleston Battery. Single game tickets available online at NashvilleSC.com. Zayats. Nashville pushing high. Launched by Lauro. Collecting the debris was Duncan. Scouting is Kofi. Lima. Paired by Akinyoti. And secured by the goalkeeper, Connor Sparrow. Told Nashville will be making 2 substitutions. Reaching into their stable. Pulling out some thoroughbreds. Papa Mensah and Matt LaGrassa set to check in. Wynn has danced around his defender. Cuts it on to his left. Stays with Allen Witt. Would not find a crease in the defense. Denied by Jordan Scarlett. And the whistle allows Nashville to make 2 substitutions. Carlton Belmar's night is done. And Matt LaGrassa's has begun. LaGrassa, 2 goals this year. And Nashville's going for it, Ronnie. They've taken off Ken Tribbett. A central defensive midfielder. Brought in LaGrassa and also Ropapa Mensah. Now you did see Ropapa holding up fingers, perhaps calling out a formation. I'll let you decipher in just a moment, but Nashville has a throw in here in the attacking third. It's launched in towards Mensah. Immediately requiring the defense of Tolkien. Elney could not divide Akinyoti and Kimura. Hoisted high by Sparrow. Mounted by Mensah. Again, Daniel Rios has had an exceptionally quiet night for a player who leads the USL Eastern Conference in scoring and is just 1 behind in the league totals behind Solomon Asante. Expertly weighted ball towards a streaking John Tolkien. The cross into a good area for the forwards late for the harvest.
So you can definitively see that by taking Tribbett and Belmar out, Nashville's gone into a 4-4-2. However, in the attack, it's going to look like a 4-2-4. So you've got LaGrassa and Bolu sitting in the middle with a little, you got Moloto and Bolu sitting in the middle, and you're going to see LaGrassa coming up a little bit higher. You're going to have Ropapa Mensah up high with Rios and Wynn running at that back line. So defensively, it'll be in a 4-4-2, but offensively, you're going to look more into a shape of a 4-2-4 with giving those backs space to go forward, and Kimura and Washington to keep the ball pressed up higher. So Nashville's going into a little bit more of a pressing environment.
And now Nashville's down to 10 men. Forrest Lasso has been expelled, sent off for a second yellow from a referee who has now pulled out a red card in 4 straight matches. Both yellow cards coming in this second half in a matter of minutes for Lasso. And the complexion of this match completely altered. Nashville down to 10 men. Production truck preparing multiple replays. Here are the looks. Is that enough to throw a player out of a game for a second yellow?
Oxford's going to wear the captain band. And now we can pretty much forget everything I was talking about in the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-4 in the attacking shape. So now let's see what Nashville does, because now they've just lost their center back. Coach Smith has used 2 of his substitution, took off one of his potential center backs in Ken Tribbett. And so now let's see how we adjust on the field.
They've also lost Forrest Lasso for Saturday's match against his former club, the Charleston Battery.
Exactly.
Gary Smith perplexed.
Monumental second yellow equaling a red. That has huge implications in this game.
4 red cards in 4 games for the referee. Lasso will have to watch us for the last 25 or so minutes of the biggest match this club has played this season. Apologies from Lasso. Applause from the supporters. And Nashville's going to have to bring a center back in. It's Bradley Bourgeois getting set to check in. One simple contested head ball has changed the entire game plan for Nashville. It is Nashville's first red card this season. Kofi exploring his options. New York up a man. Now Mines low and driven, saved by Sparrow.
So now it's going to be really important for Nashville to stay compact defensively. They're going to have to try and keep Red Bulls in front of them and absorb pressure, and they're going to have to look to spring possibly Ropapa Mensah or Alan Wynn, and then look for a target off of Daniel Rios.
Alan Wynn, his night is done. And Bradley Bourgeois, who has appeared in 10 games this season, he was the starting center back in the disaster match at Lou City where Nashville lost 2-1 on July 7th. He has not appeared since. He has not been in the 18 for Nashville Soccer Club. And now he must attempt to close out and salvage a point here against New York, down a man. Nashville is out of substitutions. And the Golden Boot winner from last year, Cameron Lancaster, will watch the rest of the game from the sidelines. How about this stat, Ronnie? New York Red Bulls, too, in their last 16 matches, the opponent has been red carded 9 times. Nashville as a club has been red carded 3.
Silence from your partner in the studio.
Okay, so Nashville now out of substitutions. It's just a matter of holding on for a point at this juncture in the game, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to salvage a tie. Not all is lost. You know, it is a 1-1 match. Connor Sparrow's a very good goalkeeper. There's still a lot of really good components on the field. They're playing a man down, and it's going to be a bigger challenge. It's going to be a fitness challenge. It's going to be a gritty environment.
Duncan lining up a drive, and he scored! The Red Bulls roar again. From down a goal to up a goal and up a man. And it's Kyle Duncan, the right back. His first goal of the season.
It's just a really simple ball played right into. It's absolutely no pressure on him until way too late. He had enough time to receive the ball, take a prep touch. Look at the time he has. Takes a prep touch, takes a look up, and then strikes the ball. Now, a well-struck ball by Duncan. Comes across it, strikes with the outside of his right foot, bending away from Connor Sparrow into the back of the net. But absolutely zero commitment to put any pressure within 20 yards of goal from Nashville defense. And Duncan did exactly the right thing. He faced up and he struck a good ball from distance, and now Nashville's in quite the predicament. Down a goal and down a man.
And a handball call against Daniel Rios. And the timing of Nashville's substitutions. They take Ken Tribbett off. Then the red card follows just maybe a minute or two later. Then they bring on a center back in Bradley Bourgeois, and now they need a goal. And they don't have a substitution remaining to bring on an attacking player.
And Cameron Lancaster still on the bench. which would be one of the attackers that are left in Nashville. Now, what we need to see is a lot of action from Ropapa-Mensah, and I think that's why he's the highest point on the target right now, because of his pace and his ability to track players. But he's going to have to really dig, because he's the one lone attacking player. You've got Lebo Maloto up here a little bit, but you can see the shape of Nashville right now and what it looks like. Defensively, they've got to stay nice and compact.
Will have to be efficient with their chances. Ropapa-Mensah off to the races, and Zayats turning on the afterburners. Oh, is this nearly in? It's Laura there to collect. Almost a gift from the team at the top of the table.
Hey, there's nothing worse than a mistake like that in front of the supporters, and then what happens? He knocks it straight out of bounds. If Nashville's smart, they get the ball and they go right back at him as he's a little shaken.
It's a good response from Nashville after conceding. Mensah battling. LaGrassa paired by Lima. Downloaded by Ockford. Turned out. Hey fans, join us Saturday, August 31st for the official away match viewing party at Mill Creek 12 South. Go back an hour ago, Nashville in the live table was sitting at the top of it. Fast forward to now. They are trailing the team at the top of the table. Then a substitution, Janos Luba in. Taking out Chris Lima. That match on August 31st, the next road match, it's against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, another team in the top four.
John, there's loads of time left in this game. If Nashville can just settle down a little bit, get their wits about them, keep themselves compact, do the work defensively in their tight spaces, they're going to be okay. Now, to the other side, if New York keeps the ball moving, the clock is their friend.
Rios. Yellow card out. Goes on Kofi. So when New York made its substitution, at that point, Chris Lima was the only Red Bulls 2 player that had a yellow card. So he's now on the sideline. And now Kofi, the only player in jeopardy of a second yellow and a red card that would drastically change Nashville's chances. Fans, it's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. Can Nashville make something out of nothing? It was a hopeful free kick from Kimura, and it's left them exposed for a counterattack. Stroud, now Ben Mines. Flag stays down. Mines against Maloto. Now the goal scorer, Duncan. Right across, and quality defending from Washington. Mines again. Knocked out by Bradley Bourgeois. Coca-Cola corner kick. 77th minute. New York still committing numbers forward. Will be Nashville's kick.
It's another young talent that Red Bulls have started tonight. Mines sitting out there at 18 years old, getting some great minutes tonight, getting even more active as the second half has come on.
Mines does have one MLS appearance for the senior team and scored in that appearance.
Future is bright for soccer in America. I just love turning these games on each week and seeing younger and younger players playing in the diversity that it's building and the challenges and how much more of a complete player they're becoming.
Red Bulls program has become a pipeline to the men's national team. Tyler Adams and Aaron Long, both Red Bulls made, even all the way back to Josie Altidore. Started his career in this organization over a decade ago. Fans emptying their lungs, trying to will this team forward. Down a man. Nashville attacking towards their supporters. If you're just joining us, Nashville led 1-0. Trying to gather a second here. It's Daniel Rios. Put into a good area. It was Mensah crashing in.
That's a great ball by Jimmy Ockford to free Daniel Rios. And then Daniel Rios gets his hips around the ball and drives the ball back in to the box.
LaGrassa. Now Rios. Bradley Bourgeois. Taylor Washington. Rios, stalked by Scarlett. Down goes Rios. And it's John Freeman, the center official, making the call in front of the assistant referee who neglected to raise his flag.
And let's be honest, Daniel Rios has fought through a lot of physical aspects of the game today. Very few times has he gone to the ground, he's maintained possession, but he has had a physical matchup. And just look at the size of Scarlett. I mean, he is a physical specimen standing in there trying to battle against one another. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt. One, he has his jersey. Two, he's pushing him down. Three, he's tackling from behind. I mean, all the way around.
And a set-piece opportunity for Nashville SC. With a few opportunities they'll have here. Down a man, down a goal. Cross could not clear the first man. There's appeals for a handball. Evading the pressure from Nashville is Duncan. And a high boot called on Taylor Washington. This is all happening in front of tonight's Ashton Real Estate attendance of 7,002. Are we the two?
I think we are. Hey, I'm honored to make it onto that. I don't know that we've ever been counted before. The +2, the dreaded +2.
Elney put a shoulder into Ockford to force the center back off balance. Only 4 of the 14 wins for New York Red Bulls 2 have come on the road. Duncan's cross towards Mines. Important intervention for Washington. And the task, always tall when you're down a man, but against the most technical team in the league. Relentless chasing for Nashville. In the Tennessee Heat, in a day where the Heat Index crossed into triple digits. Here's Duncan, the goal scorer. Another towards the back post, brought down and sent wide. It's the teenager Tolkien. And New York going to make a substitution. They are going to add some armor. Preston Kilwine, 6'3" defender, played his college soccer at Florida Gulf Coast. Interesting though, they're going to make a like-for-like sub here. They're going to take out Jordan Scarlett and bring in a new center back in the 83rd minute. Rarely do you see that, a direct central defender for someone of a likewise position. And well, there's your answer of why.
That could be the explanation right there. I'm sure that conversation is going to continue.
It's interesting because Scarlett's been fabulous against Daniel Rios. Meanwhile, another foul going against Nashville Soccer Club. Extracted by Akinyoti. Rios. Grassa. Papa Mensah interested. A deep throw in does allow Nashville to set up a press. Now John Freeman is going to ding New York Red Bulls 2 for time wasting. And the yellow card goes to Sean Nealis. So 2 players on the field in the book for New York Red Bulls 2. It's Kofi and Nealis. Rios again, unable to find a fissure in the defense of New York Red Bulls 2. And the opportunities and the possession dwindling here now in the 85th minute. Down goes Luba. All the votes are in. Tonight's Budweiser Man of the Match voted on by you, the fans. It is Ken Tribbett, had the opening goal. Sent Nashville in front after a blitz by the boys in gold. They came out buzzing. New York weathered the storm. An equalizer from that man late in the first half, Jared Stroud. And then the goal coming from Kyle Duncan. And the goal coming after Ken Tribbett was substituted out of the match.
I'll come back to that in a second once we get through this free kick by Red Bulls, which they played quickly and short.
Our Kelly Glendenning is down on the sideline, standing next to the Nashville bench. Kelly, what do you have for us?
John, Gary Smith's body language down here definitely shows some urgency, and he is coaching very hard right now, instructing his players through this shape, this new adjusted 10-player movement. He's moving them around, especially during these set pieces. He knows how crucial those are, and he keeps emphasizing possession and not giving away the ball, and is visibly frustrated whenever there's a turnover.
New York combining down the far flank. Studious defending from Kimura. Hopefully towards Mensah. One back by Kofi. Akinyoti battling hard. And Kofi's turned it over. Nashville a rare opportunity to move forward. Melodo launched in towards Rios. And easy goalkeeping for Evan Laura. Nashville can only hope for one more chance. They have barely threatened since going down to 10 men.
Yeah, they certainly haven't had much offensive punch since the red card and giving up the goal specifically. But I think that you're going to see 2+ minutes of additional time. Think of the red card, think of the injuries, and think of the yellow cards that were here, plus the goal. So I think that you're going to see about 2 minutes. So Nashville, if they can complete passes, they have to keep the ball in order to generate anything. You know, their numbers down. If they give the ball away in transition and they commit numbers forward, they're going to get caught. And that's going to be an important lesson for them to keep in mind. And as Coach Smith says, keep the ball. If they keep the ball, switch the point of attack, and pick and choose the right moment to go forward, they can generate numbers and then catch Red Bulls unbalanced. Supporters are doing everything they can right now, John.
Trying to power this ball towards them.
They're the 11th player on the field right now, for all intensive purposes.
Nashville tries an aerial route. The duel's won by New York Red Bulls too, with their hulking center backs Kilwine and Nealis.
And you know, and that's okay, right? Winning the first ball for New York is okay. If Nashville can pick up the second ball in the midfield, they can then create an opportunity. But if they don't connect on the second ball and win that, then there's the problem.
Mensah lets it run through for LaGrassa. Mensah going for glory. Rios wanted the back post service. It's hard to tell a striker not to shoot when he can see the frame of goal down by a man.
But he was from distance and not a high percentage look on frame. You know, maybe a little bit more composure at this point in the game would be helpful.
Four minutes of added time.
That's more than generous, I think.
Now Nashville does have a set piece here. As a foul was called, so they are throwing numbers forward. The center backs, Vijois and Ockford, one of the best aerial presence that the boys in gold have. Foul called again. Still a little go against Ropapa Mensah. How ironic is it that the scoreline, most likely, barring a Nashville goal, heading to a 2-1 victory for New York Red Bulls 2. That was the scoreline when these teams played here at First Tennessee Park at halftime, except it was Nashville who had the 2-1 lead before that game was postponed temporarily and eventually abandoned. Mensah dueling with Kilwine. Does well, makes the safe play, concedes a throw in. Kimura sprays across towards Washington. First touch let him down. Washington turns inwards. Hoists in a prayer, it's Ropapa-Mensah! The best look of the second half for Nashville. It's all they could have hoped for. And just couldn't get the contact he craved.
Oh, and it's the rare chop back going to his right foot by Taylor Washington. What a great ball. And Ropapa attacks it. He's just a bit late, and it's a little bit high. But what a great chop back. You know, most of the time we see Taylor Washington taking that ball and getting to the end line and driving that left-footed service back. But this time he chopped back to his right foot, bent that ball in, and drove it. And I was really impressed with the quality of that service.
Now New York Red Bulls 2 just having to hold on for 90 more seconds. Be one last move forward for Nashville Soccer Club. Duncan has to address this. Hounded by Rios. He botched the clearance. Ockford. Just seconds now remaining. Kimura turning past Luba. The cross is towards Matt LaGrassa. Was kneeless to it. Oh, and now New York, a chance to salt the wounds. Stroud sending Luba down the far side. Athletic defending from Bourgeois. Last chance here for Nashville. Skip towards the goalkeeper, and it will fall into the hands of Lauro, who will fall to the earth. John Freeman at midfield takes a look at his watch. We are past the allotted 4 minutes, and that is it. New York Red Bulls 2, the battle cry of a contender on the road, defeating Nashville Soccer Club, coming from a position of being a goal down, and they finish a goal up. We asked some Nashville players, perhaps a game marred by a red card to Forrest Lasso. To give New York credit, though, however, New York was still carrying the game at the point of the red card, looking like the more likely team to score. But once they got the red card and then the goal that followed it in a matter of just a few minutes, this game was on ice, and New York Red Bulls frozen at the top of the table.
Well, and it was just the collaboration of several things. Also the substitutions that Coach Smith had just made right before the red card. Nashville was in a little bit of disarray, and they were already changing formations. They're already adjusting, and then the red card comes in, and then they lose Forrest Lasso, who's been rock solid captain for them since Michael Reed's been injured, and he's gone from the game, and that's deflating. But credit to Red Bulls. The Red Bulls played very, very well. That was a quality match by them. They kept possession of the ball. They dictated the flow of the game, and they capitalized when they needed to, and they scored 2 very good goals.
Some long faces for the Nashville players. You could tell how much this game meant to them. Top of the table was a possibility. At one point in this game, they were at the top of the table in the live table. Instead, it is New York Red Bulls 2 who remains at the front of the USL Eastern Conference, and Nashville loses a spot. They drop down to 4th in the USL Eastern Conference. Much more to talk about in this one, our final stats and our highlights. New York Red Bulls 2 victorious tonight at First Tennessee Park. Nashville's 6-match unbeaten streak comes to an end at the hands of New York Red Bulls 2, a game that Nashville led by a goal. And for just the second time in club history, they go from a leading position to eventually a loss at the final whistle. Well, Nashville SC would like to thank our corporate partners, Nissan, Vanderbilt Health, Dex Imaging, Budweiser, Puckett's, Kroger, Coca-Cola, MyTV30, and Fox 17. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. Let's go ahead and take a look at our save of the game. Connor Sparrow got the start in goal for Nashville Soccer Club. And well, here is the look at the save of the game for Connor Sparrow. Came off a free kick from Chris Lima. Turned away by Sparrow. Certainly his most difficult effort of the night. Oh, without a doubt. Blocked by the wall. Got to that far post. Look at it. Bent right around that wall, right on the outside shoulder of Tribbett. Trying to catch that near post of Connor Sparrow, who parried it away very cleanly. Safely out of danger. So Nashville not only loses this game, they also lose Forrest Lasso for the Charleston match. The center back pairing of Ockford and Lasso, which has only conceded 2 goals when together on the field. They suddenly are unhinged, and Nashville going to have to reshuffle its lineup with Lasso having to sit out because of suspension due to the red card tonight. That will be much talked about in the few days leading up to the Charleston match. Yeah, it will certainly be very interesting to see if we see Ken Tribbett in a different role, returning back to his center back role, and then who will come in as the 6. I'm assuming that what's going to happen is you're going to see LaGrassa come in, you'll see Tribbett possibly in the back, anchoring the defense with Ockford, but who knows? You know, Coach Smith's got a few days to make that determination and to assess his opponent in Charleston, and then to assess the status of his players and to see what fits best. But if I had to venture to guess, and I'm sure that's the same guess that you would have, we might see Tribbett as a center back. Charleston will be the 6th straight opponent for Nashville SC that has had more rest days than Nashville Soccer Club. 6 straight. Charleston played over the weekend, doesn't play midweek. Nashville, because this game was postponed, suddenly goes into yet another match on limited rest against a well-rested Battery team. Let's go ahead. Sorry, Ronnie. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stats. Our producers in our ear be like, let's go, let's go. It's good, it's good. So Nashville, you look at the stats here. You know, you'd like to think that the red card changed things, but they'd probably look a whole lot like this anyway without the red card. New York Red Bulls 2 was carrying the bulk of the possession. They were building some chances in the second half. However, after the red card, things took a drastic turn, and Nashville not able to string together many passes or hold possession. Well, it was a total tempo switch, wasn't it? I mean, you could see even on the goal, the go-ahead goal that the Red Bulls scored, it was an uncontested shot from about 20 yards away. You know, the mentality had dropped just a second. Nashville was now in a situation where they had to play with 10 players, and they had to find a way to salvage a point and or get 3 by finding a way to win, and then they give up that goal quickly after Lasso's ejected. And now that put them in just chasing the ball mode for the rest of the game. So New York 2 and Nashville 1, and this game was a contributor to a topsy-turvy night in the USL Eastern Conference at the upper echelon of it. At one point, Nashville in the live table was in first place. A reversal now after New York Red Bulls 2 scores the last 2 goals of this game to take the victory. Nashville going from first place to 4th place in the matter of an hour. That just shows how tight this USL Eastern Conference is. And also, not seen on the picture, Indy 11 has several games in hand. It is going to be a dogfight in the last 9 games of the season. Well, and a credit to New York Red Bulls, they're sitting on the table at 50 points. I mean, they're trying to separate themselves. Now they've created 5-point separation between themselves and Nashville. And they've got a 4-point with North Carolina and Tampa. So North Carolina's win over Tampa did the Red Bulls a world of good. And then Red Bulls gets the result tonight, puts them on top of the table and looking, you know, very competitive down the stretch. Go ahead and take a look at the upcoming schedule. New York was one of 4 clubs that Nashville has never defeated in club history. The Charleston Battery, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and St. Louis FC are the other 3, and Nashville gets them right after each other, and it's Charleston Battery coming here on Saturday night. Gary Smith told us he's not worried about when games are Saturday and Wednesday. He's worried about when games are Wednesday and Saturday. That's when the fatigue sets in, and you wonder just how he'll have to play his lineup knowing that several of his players are on their limits.
Well, it's going to be definitely a regeneration day tomorrow and probably filled with set pieces on Friday in preparation for Saturday. At this point, the game fitness is just going to have to carry them through. So now it's going to be how can they help their bodies recover and help them get prepared for Charleston, because now they have to prepare for a different opponent, different set pieces, different formations, different player characteristics, and they've got 2 days to get ready.
The Lungs and Drums get 3 nights of rest, and then it's back at it Saturday against the Charleston Battery. It was a wild one tonight from First Tennessee Park. Nashville held the lead, and then New York Red Bulls, too, storms back to take the victory on a sticky summer night here in Nashville. I want to say a big thank you to everybody involved in our broadcast, paddling the heat themselves to carry us through. For Ronnie Woodard, I'm John Freeman, saying so long from Middle Tennessee. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday night with us. We'll do it again on Saturday as the Charleston Battery in Nashville, just 3 nights away. Up a goal and up a man.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.